playing with a quintuplet feel has become so popular, man. I'd say by this point, it's pretty essential to be able to play at least some basic quintuplet grooves, because you never know when you're going to be asked to play one. But the other day, I was watching a live video of Nubiyan Twist with Finn Booth on drums, and I came across this sick quintuplet groove that's using some concepts that you may or may not have thought about using before. Come on, mate, adding in those accent variations, adding in those quintuplet embellishments, all sounds super sick and definitely makes your quintuplet groove a lot more technical. So let's break it down. To start off, I'd recommend making sure you're super confident with just playing standard quintuplets on the snare drum, so just even groups of 5. If you're feeling comfortable with that, the next step is to move them up to the hi-hat and drop your left stick down to the snare drum on the downbeat of 2 and 4. And then if you chuck a kick in there on beat 1 and beat 3, you've got the most classic, the most standard quintuplet groove. I tapped out the tempo for the Nubiyan Twist track at 85 BPM, so let's have a listen to how this groove sounds at that speed. Sick. Now, a lot of you may have played that before. If you haven't, I definitely recommend spending a long time on that to make sure that you're feeling confident with the subdivision. And by the way, you can download the notation from today's video for free by hitting the link in the video description. You'll also find a link to the Drum Hub online membership, where at the time of this recording, you'll find over 50 video lessons breaking down the concepts used by your favorite drummers. So feel free to check that out if it sounds up your street. But either way, the notation is completely free. So the next step is we want to be using the same kick pattern as he's playing in the track. So we're going to play our kick on the downbeat of 1 and then the 2nd and the 4th partial of beat 2 of the bar. One thing that really helps me with playing things in the right position when I'm in quintuplets is to really focus on the sticking. So for these bass drums, both of them will go with your right stick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the second half of the bar, there's no bass drums at all. And if you listen to the track, you'll hear that these bass drums are locked in with the bass line, so that will help to give it a bit more musical context. But let's have a listen to how the groove sounds. Nice, and now the difficult bit really starts. So in the track, Finn Booth is playing a mixture of different accent patterns up on the hi-hat to create more variations. I've written out an example of this here, but of course, once you're comfortable, you can also improvise with it. So the variation I've written out is to add in accents on the 5th partial of beat 2, leading into the downbeat of beat 3, and then on the 4th and 5th partial of beat 3, which leads into your backbeat, and then the 3rd and the 4th partial of beat 4. Now you could count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But again, personally, I prefer to think more about the sticking than the actual count. So all of these accents are going to go with a left-right sticking as long as you keep playing a single stroke roll all the way through. So let's check out how it all sounds together. And as if that isn't hard enough, he also then adds in these quick little single strokes that create a 30-second note quintuplet, or in other words, they're really like a 10-tuplet, so an even group of 10 split over one beat. You can see this written here in the notation. Now you could play the fast notes as double strokes, but I'm pretty sure in the track he actually plays it all as single strokes. One challenge to watch out for is that your groove is then going to finish with a right hand, but also start with a right hand. So as you go over the bar line, you end up playing a little double stroke. So let's have a go at piecing the whole thing together. Come on, mate, what a sick sounding groove. It's definitely one of those grooves that sounds a lot easier to play than it actually is, and it does take a lot of thinking about. So go nice and slow and make sure that you're feeling super confident before you start to crank up your tempo. And of course, you could learn this groove note for note and you're gonna be good to go. Maybe you wanna play the track, or maybe you just wanna have fun playing a groove from one of your favorite drummers. But then I'd also recommend starting to embellish it and starting to improvise to see if you can create your own versions of the groove. And just get creative and have some fun to see what you can come up with that's inspired by Thin Booth, rather than playing everything that he played note for note. Come on, mate, so much fun to be had there in this quintuplet feel. And if you'd like to go deeper on quintuplets, feel free to check out this video here, where I break down different ways of approaching playing Dilla beats. And remember, you can download the notation from today's video for free by hitting the link in the video description. And also feel free to check out the Drum Hub online membership if you'd like to learn drums with me. There's also a 7-day free trial on there if you're interested in checking it out. But you smashed it today, and whatever you decide to watch next, I'll catch you over there.